How to protect yourself when you appear weak. Machiavelli taught rulers to anticipate resistance and act strategically before weakness could be exploited. The same lesson applies to anyone who feels poor in society, whether financially, socially, or psychologically. When the world senses vulnerability, it tests you. This testing is not always conscious. It comes as delays, dismissals, second-guessing, and subtle exploitation. To survive and even thrive, you must create psychological armor. You must control perception before the world controls it for you. The first step is appearance of competence. This is not vanity, it is survival. Clean, confident, and deliberate presentation signals authority. In meetings, emails, and social interactions, the human mind scans for weakness. Hesitation, poor posture, and uncertainty are interpreted as risk. Machiavelli understood that rulers often failed not because they were incompetent, but because they appeared incompetent. The modern equivalent is the person with talent who never gets promoted because their demeanor signals uncertainty. The second step is controlled communication. Words carry weight, but tone and timing carry more. Speak clearly, calmly, and decisively. Avoid over-explaining or apologizing excessively. Weak speech invites control. Strong speech commands attention. Even when you are unsure, delivering statements confidently changes perception. People obey the confidence, not the content. Machiavelli repeatedly emphasized that perception outweighs reality. Appear stronger than you feel. Next comes strategic alliances. While relying solely on others is dangerous, as Machiavelli warned in his chapters on mercenaries and auxiliaries, carefully chosen allies can amplify your perceived strength. These allies should be competent, reliable, and loyal. They should reflect your image back to society as someone worth noticing. A person who appears weak but moves with powerful allies suddenly becomes difficult to ignore. Weakness alone invites attack, but alignment with respected forces generates protection. Boundaries are your shield. When you appear weak, people test limits. Saying yes to every request, tolerating disrespect, or ignoring manipulation reinforces your low-value perception. Machiavelli would call this giving away authority. To defend yourself, you must enforce boundaries decisively. Saying no, delaying concessions, or redirecting attention communicates self-reliance. Others respect what they cannot take. Fear is subtle but effective. It protects the mind and the person from exploitation. Consistency builds credibility. Weakness is amplified by unpredictability. Hesitation signals doubt. Erratic behavior signals instability. Strong perception comes from repeated demonstrations of reliability. People begin to trust that you are deliberate, capable, and in control. Machiavelli noted that perception of consistency is sometimes stronger than truth. If you consistently project strength, the mind around you begins to defer, obey, or respect, even if your internal resources are limited. Leverage scarcity strategically. People respond to what they cannot easily obtain. When you appear poor or weak, everything about your access to opportunity seems abundant and disposable, which reduces value in others' eyes. Presenting yourself as selective, focused, and intentional, even in limited resources, signals scarcity and strength. Machiavelli would say that the wise ruler appears indispensable. Modern psychology confirms this. Those who value themselves highly influence how others value them. Psychological resilience is internal armor. The world will test you constantly. You will face silent dismissal, biased evaluation, and delayed recognition. These are the modern equivalents of Machiavelli's rebellions, betrayals, and shifting loyalties. To survive, your mind must treat these external pressures as signals, not judgments. Observing behavior without taking it personally allows you to adjust strategy, maintain dignity, and control perception. Resilience is the foundation of long-term authority.
Finally, control the narrative. Machiavelli repeatedly emphasized the power of reputation. In modern life, this includes social media presence, professional image, and personal storytelling. When you appear poor, society fills in the blanks, often negatively. By carefully presenting achievements, demeanor, and value, you preempt assumptions. The mind of others responds to the story you tell about yourself before it evaluates reality. Appear strong first, and strength will follow. The ultimate lesson of Part 4 is clear. Weakness is punished silently, but controllable perception is a weapon. By managing appearance, speech, alliances, boundaries, consistency, scarcity, internal resilience, and narrative, you prevent the world from turning against you. Machiavelli's principles of power, fear, and authority are timeless because human psychology has not changed. People still respect strength, fear loss, and follow what they perceive as decisive control. When you understand this, poverty, whether financial, social, or psychological, loses much of its silent power. You may not have everything, but if you manage perception, the world treats you differently. Opportunities arrive, respect follows, influence spreads. Fear of loss protects you more than appeals to kindness ever could. The world may test you, but now you are prepared. Machiavelli would approve.
Turning weakness into strategic advantage. Machiavelli knew that appearing weak was dangerous, but he also understood that perception could be manipulated. Weakness is not only something to hide, it can be turned into a tool. The human mind reacts predictably to signals of weakness. It tests, underestimates, and miscalculates. When you understand these reactions, you can use them to your advantage, controlling the story while secretly strengthening your position. The first strategy is underestimation. When people see you as poor, weak, or inexperienced, they often lower their guard. Machiavelli would call this a form of tactical invisibility. In modern life, this means that people may ignore your suggestions, underestimate your skills, or overlook your potential. While this seems like a disadvantage, it creates space for action. You can quietly plan, observe, and act, while others remain unconcerned. The weak appearance allows you to operate under the radar until the moment of decisive influence. A modern example is a small startup competing against a large corporation. At first, the larger competitor dismisses the small company as insignificant. Investors and employees may laugh at its limited resources, but because no one anticipates its true capabilities, the small startup can innovate rapidly, test strategies, and strike effectively. The larger competitor, overconfident due to perceived superiority, misses opportunities. Machiavelli's lesson is clear. Being underestimated is a secret form of power. The second strategy is strategic humility. Appearing modest or vulnerable does not mean surrendering authority. Instead, it means controlling expectations and managing reactions. People respond to humility by letting their guard down, offering information, and underestimating your influence. Machiavelli would argue that rulers who appear too powerful too soon provoke resistance and fear. By appearing weaker than you are, you draw attention only when you are ready to act decisively. This is evident in negotiation scenarios. A negotiator who projects neediness may initially appear weak, but by carefully timing the reveal of leverage or resources, they can secure better deals. The psychological principle is simple. The human mind rewards surprise, especially when it corrects previous assumptions. Machiavelli observed this repeatedly. The unexpected strike of the underestimated ruler is more effective than open confrontation. The third strategy is controlled dependence. While true weakness invites exploitation, strategic dependency can be temporary and tactical. Presenting yourself as needing guidance, support, or collaboration can draw allies closer, giving you access to resources and intelligence without appearing dominant. Once the necessary advantage is secured, you shift perception and assert real authority.
Machiavelli would describe this as using human psychology like a chessboard. Sacrifices and appearances are tools, not truths. Modern social media illustrates this principle well. Many content creators or entrepreneurs appear inexperienced or humble online. Audiences underestimate them, competitors ignore them, and yet these creators grow quietly, establishing influence and connections. By the time they are recognized, they are prepared, organized, and strong. Perceived weakness allowed them to operate under the radar until the moment of influence. The fourth strategy is managing the narrative of failure. Appearing weak does not have to equate to actual vulnerability. Failures can be framed as learning opportunities, experiments, or temporary setbacks. Machiavelli understood that a ruler who managed perception after defeat often retained more influence than one who appeared strong but failed openly. The human mind reacts to storytelling and framing more than raw facts. Present weakness strategically, and the world interprets it on your terms. The fifth strategy is combining patience with decisive action. Weakness allows observation, learning, and timing. Do not rush to assert power. Instead, gather information, strengthen resources, and wait for the optimal moment to reveal capability. Machiavelli's history is full of rulers who were underestimated at first, only to act decisively at the right moment, securing authority and respect instantly. The lesson is simple. Perceived weakness buys time, but action secures reality. The sixth strategy is psychological resilience and emotional control. When the world sees weakness, it will test you relentlessly. Patience, calm, and emotional stability are crucial. Machiavelli would note that rulers fell not only because they were weak, but because they reacted emotionally to exploitation. By staying composed, you maintain the strategic advantage. Your mind becomes your fortress, even when appearances are vulnerable. Finally, Machiavelli's broader principle applies. Control how the world perceives you, but act in reality with preparation and intelligence. Weakness in appearance does not have to be fatal. It becomes dangerous only when combined with passivity, confusion, or lack of planning. When managed carefully, it becomes a tool for observation, learning, and eventual dominance. In modern life, these lessons translate into career strategy, social influence, and personal growth. Appear humble or weak initially to lower resistance. Observe, plan, and act strategically. Use underestimation as a weapon. Frame failures carefully. Build alliances quietly. Control perception while growing internal strength. When the right moment comes, act decisively and reveal your real power. Those who misjudged you will respect, fear, or follow, exactly as Machiavelli described centuries ago. The ultimate takeaway from Part 5 is clear. Weakness is not inherently fatal, but unmanaged perception is. Machiavelli teaches that power begins in the mind of others. By mastering the psychology of appearance, patience, and timing, you can turn disadvantage into opportunity, vulnerability into strategy, and underestimation into influence.
How to look strong while being poor. Modern strategies. Machiavelli taught that perception shapes reality. Today, this lesson is more relevant than ever. Appearing weak or poor invites subtle but relentless resistance from the world. Yet with strategic thinking, you can look strong even when your resources are limited. The key is controlling signals, managing psychology, and projecting authority before it actually exists. 1. Control your appearance. Appearance is the first signal the world reads. Clean, tidy, and intentional clothing communicates control and stability. You do not need luxury to appear strong. Attention to detail matters more than cost. Iron your clothes, maintain good posture, and carry yourself with calm purpose. Machiavelli would call this the armor of perception. Even if your finances are low, your presentation can suggest confidence and self-respect. Example: two people enter a meeting.
One wears worn-out clothes, but sits upright, speaks clearly, and maintains eye contact. The other wears a designer outfit, but slouches, stutters, and avoids attention. Who gains respect? The human mind rewards confidence and composure over raw wealth. 2. Speak decisively and confidently. Words carry meaning, but tone carries influence. Speak slowly, clearly, and without over-explaining. Avoid apologizing for who you are or what you lack. When you appear hesitant, the mind of others interprets it as weakness. Machiavelli emphasized that rulers succeed through decisive communication. In modern life, the same principle applies. The confident voice is obeyed. The uncertain voice is ignored. 3. Manage your environment. Where you operate communicates status. Even a small space can be curated to suggest control. Keep your surroundings organized and intentional. Visible chaos signals internal chaos, which triggers subconscious perceptions of incompetence. By managing your environment, you send silent signals of authority and preparedness, even when resources are scarce. 4. Strategic silence and listening. When appearing weak, resist the urge to overcompensate. Listening carefully, asking thoughtful questions, and observing reactions are all signs of strength. Silence conveys patience and control, and careful observation allows you to gather information unnoticed. Machiavelli would recognize this as tactical invisibility. Others underestimate you while you prepare for decisive action. 5. Use micro-expressions and body language. Nonverbal cues often outweigh words. Maintain open but confident gestures. Avoid fidgeting or shrinking physically. Small, controlled movements convey calm authority. Even if you are financially poor, body language communicates competence and self-control. People unconsciously follow those who appear balanced and grounded. 6. Build alliances wisely. You do not have to be powerful alone. Align with people who reflect competence and reliability. However, unlike Machiavelli's warning about auxiliary armies, these alliances must be controlled carefully. Allies should enhance your perception without creating dependency that can backfire. The human mind respects those with visible support networks, but distrusts those who appear to rely entirely on others. 7. Frame failures as learning or strategy. When missteps occur, manage the story. Present setbacks as experiments, learning moments, or temporary challenges. Machiavelli knew that perception is stronger than reality. People forgive controlled, framed failures more than obvious chaos. This keeps your authority intact, even when resources or results are limited. 8. Demonstrate small wins publicly. Visibility matters. Highlight successes, no matter how small, in ways that project competence. Small, consistent victories build a reputation over time. The world judges you on patterns, not isolated events. Machiavelli repeatedly emphasized the importance of cumulative perception. Small wins create confidence in your audience, which translates into respect and opportunities. 9. Limit exposure to overcritical observation. Weakness is exploited when it is visible. Avoid unnecessary exposure where others can judge you negatively. Manage who sees what and control your narrative. Social media, public forums, and unfiltered interactions amplify perceived weakness. By strategically curating your visibility, you protect yourself while still gaining influence. 10. Internalize resilience. External signals matter, but internal strength prevents collapse under pressure. Machiavelli knew that rulers fall when fear overtakes judgment. Similarly, when the world tests you for weakness, your response must be calculated, calm, and deliberate. Emotional control is invisible but deeply influential. It reinforces perception of authority. Example: a young professional may be underpaid and overlooked at work. By dressing sharply, speaking confidently in meetings, highlighting small wins, and building strategic alliances, they project authority. Colleagues unconsciously treat them with more respect. Managers assign more responsibility, and opportunities naturally arise. The person may remain financially limited initially, but their perceived strength opens doors Machiavelli would call the path to power. 11. Timing of revelation. When resources are scarce, never reveal your full potential too early. Machiavelli stressed that rulers who show all power immediately provoke envy and resistance. Similarly, in modern life, projecting gradual strength allows the mind of society to adjust without pushback. Strategic revelation of capability creates surprise and respect. 12. Psychological self-defense. Finally, understand that being underestimated is a psychological tool. When others assume weakness, you gain an observational advantage. Learn patterns, predict behavior, and act strategically. Weak appearance combined with hidden preparation can turn disadvantage into decisive leverage. Machiavelli would call this intelligent use of perception. Conclusion of Part 6. Looking poor or weak is not fatal. It is a signal, a tool that can be managed, leveraged, and transformed. By controlling appearance, speech, environment, alliances, story, timing, and internal resilience, you can project strength even under scarcity, turning underestimation into influence. Machiavelli's lessons centuries ago about perception, power, and human psychology remain fully applicable today, especially in the subtle battles of career, society, and personal influence.
Ain't accepted.
The audio features a conversation between two men.